What's up, people? What is up, family? Let me see if I got that right. What is up? What it is? What it do? Coming on a little bit later than I intended, but we are here, and y'all need to come on with the come on. We are going to be talking all things healing, relationships, purpose, the Sacred Sister Circle. I want to recap some of the things that we discussed last week. I want to recap some of the things that we discussed last week, like how to renew the spirit, how to reinvigorate your relationships, how to rediscover your purpose. These are the three things we're going to talk about today. And if you have questions, this is the time where we get it in. We answer those questions, and I get to support you in your spiritual healing, your spiritual transformation, and your spiritual manifestation. Okay? So, just to recap, one, the Sacred Sister Circle membership is going live, meaning you ladies will be able to join. It's going live November 11th at 11 a.m. The Sacred Sister Circle is going live. The membership, you will be able to enroll and become an actual member of the Sacred Sister Circle starting November 11th. I know in the past video I said November 15th, but I'm pushing it up a day to November 11th because why not? Okay? So, November 11th, that's when you'll be able to enroll. What is the Sacred Sister Circle? The Sacred Sister Circle is a spiritual year-long membership for spiritual women like you to have a sacred space to renew their spirits, to reinvigorate their relationships, and to rediscover their purpose. That is what the Sacred Sister Circle is. Okay? And within the Sacred Sister Circle, we are going to have spiritual practices that are aligned with the seasons. We are going to be going live 3 weeks out of the month. 3 weeks out of the month, us ladies are going to be going live having spiritual conversations regarding what's happening energetically, regarding what's happening spiritually, mentally, emotionally. We're going to talk all things healing, relationships, and purpose in the Sacred Sister Circle. 3 times a month, we are going live as a group. On Teachable, this is where you'll be able to find all the content that is specific for the Sacred Sister Circle. Okay? This is where you'll find all the content that is specific for the Sacred Sister Circle. We also have a private community that we're going to be tapping into. This will be our place to just talk, to just build, to do whatever it is that we need to do to keep growing, to keep healing, to keep building healthy connections and relationships, and to operate in our purpose, the Sacred Sister Circle. All right? So I really want to recap everything that we talked about over the past week, and definitely 100% answer some of y'all's questions. I know I'm starting this live later than I intended to, but where y'all at? What is up? Am I private or public? Okay, this is public. Okay, good. Let me share. So I can have some of y'all come on in. Let it all be over my love. Paste. Tap in now. When you come into the building, make sure you say what's up. Thank you, Tangela, for coming on in and saying what's up. Today, we are talking about healing, relationships, and purpose, all things spirituality. If you have questions about the Sacred Sister Circle, you can ask questions about the Sacred Sister Circle. I just want to support y'all in y'all spiritual healing and transformation. So here's the thing. We all need a renewal of our spirits, meaning we come into the fullness of who we are. We're no longer bound down, tied down, held hostage to our past experiences, to old ways of thinking, to old ways of feeling, to old ways of being. When you transform the way that you're thinking and when you transform the way that you feel, this is what actually renews your spirit. We all need that. Okay? We all need that in our lives because that's the way we create a life that we actually desire. That's the way that we create a life that we actually enjoy, that we're proud of, that we love living through renewing the spirit. And I told y'all when I went live last Monday, I told y'all exactly how to renew the spirit. There were 3 things that you have to do in order to renew your spirit. 3 things that you have to do. I'm going to remind you of those things. While I remind you of those things, I want y'all to be in the chat, going ahead, getting your questions ready because this is a live for question and answer pertaining to healing, relationships, purpose. This is what we're talking about today, or the Sacred Sister Circle. You can ask questions related to those 3 things: healing, relationships, purpose, or those 4 things, and the Sacred Sister Circle. So please, if you have a question about the Sacred Sister Circle, put it in the chat. If you have a question about healing, put it in the chat. If you have a question about relationships, put it in the chat. If you have a question about your purpose, put it in the chat, and we're going to deal with it today. While y'all do that though, I want to tell y'all, I want to give you a refresher of what we talked about last week. So the first thing that we talked about last week is that one thing that spiritual women need right now is to renew their spirits. And there are 3 things that you have to do to renew your spirit. The first thing you have to do is you have to transmute your trauma, meaning you have to gain a new perspective on your experiences that allows you to be the victor instead of the victim. You have to find a way to view your past experiences that puts you in a position of power instead of being disempowered. Okay? So that's number 1. You got to transmute your trauma. Number 2, you have to transform the subconscious mind. Meaning, in your present moment, how can you start to perceive the world as if everything is working out in your favor? How can you start to see the blessings in your everyday life experience? How can you start to see spirit at play, making things happen on your behalf? That's number 2. Transform the subconscious mind. Meaning in the present moment, find something to be grateful for. Find something to say ashe, to say thank you, to say yes to. That is in alignment with what it is that you're trying to manifest. Regardless of what it looks like, you have to transform your mind to start seeing these things. And then lastly, you have to train your vibration. So again, in order to renew your spirit, 1, you have to transmute trauma. 2, you have to transform the subconscious mind. 3, you have to train your vibration, meaning what is your attitude on life? What is your predominant attitude on life? Are you an optimistic person, a pessimistic person, or a realist? Which one are you? And how are those attitudes and perceptions of the world, how are those things either supporting you or debilitating you from having the life that you desire to have? Okay? That is what we discussed on Monday. If any of you missed the live on Monday on how to renew your spirit, go back and listen to that video. 1, transform trauma. 2, transmute trauma. 2, transform the subconscious mind. 3, train your vibration. Let me say what's up to y'all in the chat. Peace, Tangela. Peace, Shay. What's up, Ren? What's up, Iman? What's up, Divine 2269? I'm glad you already gave me a question. I appreciate you for that. What's up, Ebony? What's up, To Know Israel? What is up, Love Sky? What's up, Mystic Storm? Some of y'all are legitimately coming back because we had some questions. We had some things that we needed to discuss. What's up, the Queen Tink? What's up? So let's look at this first question. How to focus on my spiritual journey while being a caregiver for my daughter. Wow, how to focus on my spiritual journey while being a caregiver for my daughter. Well, one of the first things that you have to understand, Divine, is that you are your most valuable asset. You are your most valuable asset. And when you don't focus on you, you can't really give your daughter what you need to give her in order for her to grow, evolve, and be who she needs to be in this moment. But I also understand because you use the word caregiver. And so that means it's a little bit deeper than just making sure she's fed, making sure she is clothed. It's a deeper thing. So I would tell you that you need to create a spiritual practice. It's not about focusing on your spiritual path. It's about having a life that is spiritually led, period. See, I don't have to focus on spirituality because my everyday life exudes spirituality. The routines, the practices that I have in place in my life are in alignment with spirituality. So I don't have to focus on it. Okay? So I need you to get that understanding in your mind. Your daily life should be integrated with your spirituality. Okay? It should be integrated with your spirituality. Meaning, when you wake up in the morning, what is the first thing that you do to honor your spirit? In the middle of the day, what do you do to honor yourself and to honor your spirit? At night, what do you do to connect with yourself? So, your spirituality has to be something that is ingrained within your day to day. Your spirituality has to be something that is ingrained within your day to day. So, it's not something that you have to focus on, it's something that should be well, I was thinking I'm not in labor. I did have to do some things pertaining to the baby though. So you need to create spiritual practices and routines, Divine 2269, and you need to discipline yourself to maintain them regardless of what's going on. You have to create space and opportunities for you to do your work. Okay? And as you are caring for your daughter, how can you implement spiritual practices into that? How can you implement a spiritual mindset into that? How can you start seeing spirit in those moments that may be tedious while you're caring for her? Okay. So I want to challenge you to come up with something that works for you in the morning. Maybe it's waking up in the morning and having 10 minutes of just quiet time, of just saying whatever it is that you're grateful for, focusing on your intentions, and just getting clarity on what you want to happen throughout your day. And then maybe when you go in the bathroom, you brush your teeth, you wash your face, and you do all of those things, you're very intentional about being loving and caring as you are communicating with yourself. You know what I mean? Maybe it's during the day, you set an alarm on your phone to make sure that you take a conscious breath, right? You set an alarm for 10 o'clock. Maybe that's the time when things start to get busy for you. You set that alarm for 10 o'clock, and when 10 o'clock hits and that alarm goes off, you focus on taking those deep breaths. Doesn't have to take long. You just discipline yourself to have a spiritual practice. Okay? That's it. Let me know if that resonates. Let me know if that makes sense. Divine 2269 for you. Trying to find balance while working on me. Yeah, so finding balance means having a spiritual practice. I'm telling y'all, it is simple things. It is very simple things that help you to gain clarity on what you have going on inside of you. If you could just take a moment daily, consciously, to tune into yourself, okay? If you can just take a moment daily to tune into yourself, you're going to get more clarity. You're going to get more focus. You're going to get more understanding on the different changes you need to make to align with your higher self. Okay? You're going to receive that. But you have to be conscious about and disciplined and consistent in taking those moments to just breathe, to just be quiet, to just go within. And it does not always have to be sitting in meditation. It could be before you get out of bed, while you're in the mirror, while you're driving in the car. You just become super conscious about tuning into yourself. Okay? Peace. Let me say what's up to the people that has come in. What's up, love? What's up, Jennifer Brown? What's up, Matt Titan. So we are doing Q&A for healing, relationships, purpose, and the Sacred Sister Circle. So y'all go ahead and throw y'all questions in there. And what I like that Divine 2269 did, she put her stuff in all caps. So if you have a question, please put it in all caps. That's going to help me to be able to see it quicker, see it easily, and do it a do. When y'all do not have a question, I'm going to recap some of the amazing things that we talked about last week. Like I already said, on Monday last week, we talked about renewing the spirit. Why is it important to renew your spirit? It is important to renew your spirit because some of y'all have been living the same life that you've been living for months, for years, for decades. And you're at a space, you're in a place where you're tired. You feel mentally, emotionally, and spiritually drained and physically drained. And you're wanting to experience something new. You're wanting to feel more alive. You're wanting to feel more present. You're wanting to feel more connected to yourself. The way that you do that is through renewing your spirit. How do you renew your spirit? Well, first you have to learn how to transmute your trauma. You have to stop telling yourself the same story over and over and over again and living in that story, walking in that story, and really believing that story. That's the first thing you have to do is transmute that trauma. How do you know which trauma needs to be transmuted? Well, you determine what aspects in your life you are not satisfied with. And then you have to go through this mental, emotional, spiritual journey from where you are now, and you have to kind of backtrack and figure out how you got there. And then what's going to happen is that you'll figure out the source. And most of the time, the source of why you are dissatisfied, stagnant, and unhappy with life, most of the time, the source of those things come from some form of trauma that has shaped your belief system. Okay? And once you get to the source, the beginning, the start, as early as you can discover, once you figure out what that belief is, now we transform that. We transmute that. We come up with a different belief system for you to thrive on, for you to live on. Okay? This is so important. If you do not figure out how to transmute that trauma, you will not live a life of freedom, of love, of joy, of wholeness, of happiness, a life that you love to live. Okay? After you transmute that trauma, the next thing that you have to do is transform your subconscious mind, meaning you have to give your mind new symbols. You have to give your mind new symbols, new things, new meanings to certain aspects of your reality. Okay? I told y'all for me, I used to be a teacher. And at some point, I really loved teaching. I really enjoyed it. But then at some point, it got stagnant. I felt stuck. I felt unhappy. I felt like I wasn't really living in the fullness of my purpose. I felt like I was just going day to day, day by day, just up, just going, just, nothing. Not really fulfilled. And I had to transform my subconscious mind. And how did I do that? Whenever I would be standing up and teaching in front of those kids, instead of visualizing, instead of keeping it as if I'm just teaching students, I would see myself as coaching and teaching women. I would see myself as teaching women. I would see myself supporting, helping, and giving women guidance on how to heal. So I trained my mind to stop being limited on, I'm dealing with these high schoolers, they don't even care. I stopped telling myself that story, and I transformed my subconscious mind to start seeing these teenagers that I was dealing with as being open, receptive, and willing women and some men who were ready to transform, who were ready to heal. And then before you know it, right, took about 2 years. It took about 2 years to finally get it and finally be in a place where I can do what I love on a regular basis. It took time, but shifting my subconscious, shifting my beliefs, shifting what I was seeing in the present moment allowed me to enjoy what I was doing, allow me to renew my spirit and have a new passion and have a new excitement for that work until the manifestation came into my reality. So that's why you also have to train your vibration, because if you're still vibrating as a person who vibrating from a place of lack, if you're still vibrating from a place of I can't have, then you're going to continue to manifest that. And vibrating from a space of fear is where that comes, or a place of shame, a place of guilt. This is where your unfulfilledness and the lack of feeling renewed and connected to yourself actually come from. So when we are in the Sacred Sister Circle, I'm going to give you tools specifically on how to transmute trauma. The beautiful part about it is you're going to have other women who I've worked with one-on-one. You're going to have other women who I've probably never worked with at all, who are just entering this group setting, who are going to tell you, okay, sis, how you're feeling right now, based off of the situation, is normal, but I want you to know that you can come out of it. I want you to see me, your sister, as a reflection of not staying stagnant in that same type of thinking, feeling, being, behaving. I want you to know that you can do it. And so you're going to feel inspired and you're going to start taking action, because you know it's not only you. You're not the only one that's feeling this way. You're not alone. There are people who you can now connect with who can show you what it is to live a life that is renewed, that is fulfilling, that is prosperous, that is abundant, that is flow, that is overflowing. I'm going to show you in the Sacred Sister Circle how to start creating meaning in certain experiences. I told y'all this other thing that happened while I was out of school. An older woman, she's older than me, probably in her 40s, 50s or something like that. She came up to me and she said, "Oh my God, you're such a great teacher." And I said, "Thank you," and all of that. But I said, "Oh, I'm a great teacher to grown ass women, not just to students." Because for her to feel that way, for her to feel that way, for her to feel inspired, for her to feel like she wants to tell me I'm a great teacher, it's not about how I made the students feel. It's about how I made her feel. But I had to train my subconscious mind to start seeing things like that instead of keeping it on the surface level, instead of keeping it just as how I was seeing the situation. I'm going to show you in the Sacred Sister Circle how to start giving meaning to things that are mundane. And the more you do this, the more your world is going to start manifesting and transforming, and the meanings that you've given to these supposedly mundane things start to become a reality. Okay? I'm going to show you why it's so important to train your vibration to be a person who is optimistic and who always can find something to be grateful for, who can always see the light at the end of the tunnel, who can always understand that in every supposed bad situation, there's always some good. But can you train your mind to see the good in all of your situations? Okay? Let's get into this next question. Why have I found it so hard to discipline self in my spiritual practices in the last few months? So that's a good question, Shamika. Hopefully I said that right. That's a good question. Here's what you have to understand. We go through all of these different ebbs and flows. We go through all of these different phases, these journeys within our spirituality. And you may be in a place where Spirit is trying to show you why it's important to be spontaneous in your spiritual practice. This has happened to me before, right? You may be an eclectic spiritualist. So you may be a person that has to do different things that still accomplish the feeling of being connected to yourself, and that still allow you to transform, that still allow you to change. So you just have to understand where you are spiritually and not fight it. See, the moment you judge and say, "Damn, you know what? I haven't been very disciplined in my spiritual practice." The moment you judge it, that's the moment where you take away power from wherever it is that you are. Okay? There have been times in my life where I would meditate for months and months and months on end every single day, and there's nothing that's stopping me from meditating. And then there are times where I probably won't meditate at all. But I make sure that I'm doing something that makes me feel in tune and connected with myself. whether that's reading, dancing, yoga, exercise. Like, you just have to understand where you are spiritually, where you are energetically. And sometimes looking at your natal chart can give you guidance to that. You also need to pay attention to what's happening within the seasons, what's happening on earth, what's happening in the universe. Your spiritual practice, you don't have to do the same thing every single day. Like, you can switch it up. What's most important is that you are finding time to connect with you. What's most important is that you're disciplining yourself to have a moment of quiet, no matter how that quiet time comes. It can come in the shower, in the bath. It can come while you're driving in the car. It can come while you're stretching, exercising. It can come while you're walking. It doesn't matter. You just have to understand where you are. There are gonna be some times where you just like on it. You meditating, you doing your shit. You just got it going. And then there are times where spirit is like, try this, try that, try this, try that. Where you're trying to redevelop your spiritual practice. Okay? So again, the most important thing in all of that though is not judging it. The most important thing is not judging it. Not telling yourself this is good or this is bad. It just is what it is. It is what it is. Okay? But something that you should always be doing is disciplining your vibration. Something you should always be doing is disciplining your mind. Questioning how you're thinking, questioning how you're feeling. That's something that you should always, always, always be doing. Is my thinking in alignment with what I desire to have and manifest? Is my feelings, is my emotions in alignment with what I desire to have and what I desire to manifest? Okay? Those are things that should not change. Let me know in the chat, Shamika, how that resonates with you. And y'all, when I'm telling y'all this stuff, I need you to apply. Apply, apply, apply. Again, we're having a live Q&A right now. We're having a live Q&A right now pertaining to healing, transformation, relationships, purpose. That's what we're doing right now. Or if you have questions about the Sacred Sister Circle, that is being, you will be able to enroll in the Sacred Sister Circle November 11th, 11 a.m. November 11th, 11 a.m., you will be able to become an official member of the Sacred Sister Circle. Okay? In the Sacred Sister Circle, one of the things that we're also going to focus on is relationships. How do I reinvigorate my relationship with myself? And how do I create healthy relationships with other women and my partners? My partner or potential partners, family, it doesn't matter who it is. How do I have healthy relationships with them? How do I reinvigorate my relationships? And I told y'all, if you tuned in on Wednesday, I told y'all there were 4 things that you needed to focus on in order for you to have good, healthy relationships. The first thing that you needed to focus on was your value, your self-value, your self-worth, which is about understanding who you are beyond the physical. Your value is not based on what you can do for other people. There's so many spiritual women whose value is based on what they can do rather than their essence as a spiritual woman. That's why your relationships are messed up. Because you focus on what you got to do to make this person happy. What you have to do to be looked at or felt as important to these people. And that is something that is stopping you from having healthy relationships. So in the Sacred Sister Circle, we're going to be diving into the power of your femininity, to the power of your spirit, to the power of you just being a woman incarnated right now. And getting you to understand that your value, you've been had it when you came here, when you incarnated as a baby, you had value without doing absolutely anything. But once you really understand that, now we start to tap deeper into what makes you uniquely you so that you can figure out how to give that back and receive external value, which can come in the form of money, healthy relationships, whatever. Okay? But at the end of the day, it stems from you valuing you first, just for you being you, having life, having breath, being your divine sacred self. Another way that you manifest healthy relationships, something that you have to do, is be vulnerable. Are you free to be your true self? Do you have the courage to be authentic? See, a lot of you women, a lot of you spiritual women are afraid to show your true colors. You really think that the way that you're thinking is your truth, and really the way that you're thinking is a form of protection. I've sat down with a client once and she's saying one thing, but her energy is giving something totally different because she's afraid of vulnerability. And so I'm trying to support you, I'm trying to help you, I'm trying to coach you, but you are afraid of vulnerability, so we can't go from point A to point B. When you are afraid to express your hurts, your pains, your trauma, when you do not allow yourself to be vulnerable and be seen, you are unwilling to grow, you are unwilling to change, you are unwilling to have healthy relationships. It's not going to work. If you cannot have difficult conversations with yourself, with the people you love, with your support system, like me, I'm your support system. If you can have difficult conversations, it may bring up tears, it may make you uncomfortable. If you cannot do that, you're not ready and willing to have genuine relationships where you are loved for who you divinely are. But if you can become vulnerable, if you can say, you know what, I fucked up. If you can say, this happened to me and it made me this type of person, that's a start. Because now we have something to work with, to grow from, to transform. But if you want to just keep talking like you have it all figured out, this is where stagnation comes from in relationships. This is why relationships feel dead and lifeless. Because there's no vulnerability. There's no openness. There's no realness. And this doesn't just have to do with you and a male partner, ladies. This has to do with you and other women as well. This has to do with you and you. So in the Sacred Sister Circle, you are going to have opportunities to express and be vulnerable. Because what you're going to discover is that you have more emotional support than you thought. Because that's the problem with a lot of spiritual women. A lot of spiritual women don't feel like we have emotional support. And because we don't feel emotionally supported, we rather just keep our emotions to ourselves. This stops your relationships from thriving. But in the Sacred Sister Circle, you're going to have many opportunities. And it's going to help you to see that you're more supported than you thought. You're stronger than you thought. And that you're not so overly consumed with the judgment, with the perception, with the thoughts of others. Because you don't need to be anyways. Okay? Let's look at this. Love Sky says, had a homeless guy ask me if I knew what it was like to off someone. Very scary at that time. Okay. That's not a question, it's just a statement, right? That definitely would be kind of scary. How do you remain calm and focused when things get tough? I dreamt last night an older teacher of mine told me this is all happening so you learn to remain calm during the test. Good question, Israel. Good question to know, Israel. How do you remain calm and focused when things get tough? This goes back to perception. This goes back to polarity. This goes back to under. Okay, you added the question at the top. Type it again for me, Love Sky. Type it again and we'll come back to it. Okay? So so staying calm in the test is really about training your mind to understand that there's always going to be some shit in this human experience. There's always going to be drama, trauma, and things that can go wrong. You've heard that before, right? Training yourself to stay calm is understanding that the universe, the world, always, your existence always balances itself out. So just like there's something that can go wrong, there's like times can be tough, times can be smooth, times can be easy. Things can flow easily and effortlessly. So staying calm is about realizing that there's just one coin. There's one coin, but there are two sides to it. And it's really all the same. So you have to train yourself to become a person that says, what is the benefit of this situation? What is the power in this situation? How do I grow from this situation? How is this situation shaping me? How is this situation preparing me to be my best self? How is this situation allowing me to connect more deeply with my spirituality, with my higher self? See, when you get frazzled, when things get crazy and chaotic, all you do is radiate a deeper emotion. All you do is radiate a deeper emotion that says, I am not equipped to deal with this. So spirit, higher self, give me more opportunities so that I can work through this. That's all you do. Do you understand? So it's important to stay in control of your emotions. It's important to stay in control of your thoughts, because when you don't, you are sending a message that you need to learn this lesson again. So if that is not enough to keep you calm, I don't know what the hell will. I know for me, if I let my mind and my emotions go too crazy, I know for a fact spirit is going to be like, you got to do that over. We need a do-over. We need a do-over because you missed the opportunity. You missed the opportunity to allow this challenge, to allow this tough time to transform you. Okay? That's what's happening. And so you have to train yourself to become a person who looks for the good, who looks for the silver lining, who looks for the positive. A lot of times we've been trained, mentally trained to be people who focus on the negative of our life situations. You know, it's just easier. It's easier to complain than it is to have gratitude in a challenging situation. Okay? Let me know how that resonates with you in the chat. Let me know how that resonates with you in the chat. See, the Sacred Sister Circle is really about helping you to develop a spiritual mindset. It's about helping you to develop a spiritual mindset. It's about teaching you how to do this healing work yourself, how to align your spiritual practice with what's happening in the universe. It's about literally showing you that you can have healthy relationships, especially with other women. Okay? And then through that healthy relationship with other women, you are going to become open and receptive to learning from other women. Not side-eyeing her. You're going to become open to learning from other women. Whether you're learning how to create that business, how to manifest, how to maintain a healthy relationship. When you create those connections with women who have been where you are, hell, you may be teaching. You may be guiding. You may be supporting healing. The Sacred Sister Circle is being developed to give you spiritual guidance on how to heal, right? How to take your situation, transform it to be what it needs to be for you to live your best life, for you to feel gratitude, for you to feel joy, for you to have health and well-being. It's about you having healthy connections, healthy relationships, getting to talk to other spiritual women and feeling understood, knowing that you're not alone. Okay? I know a lot of us don't have that. I'm grateful to have it now. Shout out to some of my sisters that are in here. All right? The Sacred Sister Circle is going to show you that you can manifest your purpose, that you can live a life of purpose, that you can be of service. See, spiritual women want to be of sacred service. They want to contribute to the world. They want to give back something. They want to be a part of something that is bigger than them. That's something that we really want. We want to have impact. That's why I love making these videos. I love coaching. I love doing that because I know that I'm one, tuned into myself, and I know that I have influence in a positive, powerful way. And that shit feels good. And I want all my spiritual sisters, I want all my sacred sisters to be able to do that. And you're going to do that in a way that is unique to you. You're going to do that in a way that is unique to you. I can't wait in the Sacred Sister Circle for y'all to be coming on and being like, yes, I do this, I do that, and I'm going to just let you have all of it. Okay, let's see. All right, so we got that question. Mystic Storm Spirituality. Any tips on releasing self-sabotage in relationships? I'm quick to cut people off and still reading Letting Go, and it's really helping me get to the root of the triggers. So the reason why you do that is because it's easier to cut somebody off than it is to be vulnerable. That's what it boils down to. It's easier to cut somebody off than it is to say, you hurt me. Than it is to say, I'm sorry. Than it is for you to take responsibility. It's like, I'd rather just be done with it. Whatever. Because you don't want to explore your own emotions. And so a part of the letting go process is allowing yourself to feel the hurt, to feel the pain, to feel the disappointment, to feel the sadness, the shame, the guilt. That's a part of the process. Let go of the judgment to those feelings. Let go of the fear of how someone is going to respond based off of how you are thinking and feeling. So you would rather cut somebody off because you don't want to have an uncomfortable conversation. Maybe you're afraid of their answer. Maybe you're afraid of what you will say and what you will do. Again, the Sacred Sister Circle is going to support you with that because you're going to have many opportunities to share. You're going to have many opportunities to share what it is that you're thinking and feeling. And you have to do that courageously without any expectation of how you think someone is going to respond. Because a person's response to your thoughts, to your feelings does not matter. Your response to other people is what matters the most. Because your response lets you know where you are mentally, spiritually, emotionally. It lets you know if you connect with, if you resonate with, if you're on the same plane, the same vibration with whatever another person is doing. Okay? So again, a lot of times why we cut people off is because we are afraid to let them see who we really are. We're afraid to let them see our hurt. We're afraid to let them see our pain. We're afraid to be vulnerable. Okay? And so that's something that you really have to stop doing because you'll cut somebody off that is supposed to support you spiritually. And then before you know it, you manifesting another person just with a different first, but with the same energy. They about to teach you the same lesson. You cutting that person off, but you manifesting another friend who got the same energy, and that face is just waiting to be shown. It may wait a month, a year, a couple of years, but before you know it, you're like, damn, you the same person I was just with 3, 4, 5 years ago, 3, 4, 5 months ago. It's the same exact thing. If you don't allow yourself to truly deal with things right now, you'll deal with them again in the future. And that's not to say that you have to stay in all of these relationships, no matter what it is, whether it's family, friend, partnership, whatever. Not to say that you have to stay in it. It means that you have to truly resolve whatever the issue was within you. And you need that person to be a reflection to you of what's going on inside of you. If you just cut the person off, you miss out on your own opportunity. You're cutting yourself off to transformation. You're cutting yourself off to healing. Again, doesn't mean you have to stay in that relationship, but you allow yourself the vulnerability, the openness to state whatever it is that happened, and you transform your thinking surrounding it. Let me know how that resonates for you, Mystic Storm. I've been crying myself to sleep every night for about 5 days now. Last night I cried for like an hour straight, like a deep mourning type cry. I hadn't cried like this in 12 years. I finally feel better, like I had so many breakthroughs. Now I have to move different, and that's the challenging part. All right, Estella Mack, I need you to ask a question so I can support you in that work that you're doing. But it sounds like right now that you've had a lot of pent up emotion, a lot of stuff that you just hadn't dealt with. Okay. Sounds like you just had a lot of stuff that you haven't dealt with. And you're in a purging phase right now. You're in a releasing phase right now, which is right on time because we're still in fall. And in the fall season, it's about letting things fall off. And so that crying that you did is you releasing a lot of pent up shit. But you also need to ask yourself, what is the source of this pain? And you need to still do the work to transform the belief system surrounding it. Are you mourning something that is happening in the future? Are you mourning the past? You need to ask yourself these questions. Are you feeling in a place where you may be like in a dark night of the soul type space? Or is it some beliefs? Is it some thoughts? Is it some things that you haven't really looked up that's coming up right now and you're feeling all of that? You got to get specific about what it is that you're feeling, okay? How do I completely cut ties and emotional baggage? I thought what I did was enough, but it's all the past keeps coming back up as though I haven't healed, even though a couple of years ago I was good. That's a good point. That's a good point because that be happening all the time. You swear you're over it. The thing is, when it comes down to healing, we're talking about transforming thoughts and transforming emotions. We're talking about transforming belief systems. Okay? That's what we're talking about. So you have to ask yourself, have I really changed what I believe about myself and what I believe about my relationships, what I believe about the world? And this is a deep, deep process. Because you have to think and understand. A lot of the shit that you're holding on to is from so many years. And so you have to be consistent in reiterating the new thought, the new idea, the new state of being. You can't think just because you thought about it for a week or two, just because you got this new belief system for a week or two, you thinking happy thoughts that you're good. We're talking about years of programming. That's what we're talking about. And then when we're talking about cutting ties, because you said cutting ties and emotional baggage. So that automatically makes me think about you cutting ties with a specific person. And a lot of times we got this cutting ties, cutting soul ties things all the way confused. There are some people that you are still connected to because you haven't went to the depths of the healing that you need to go to. You're only scratching the surface. You're only scratching the surface and there's deeper healing to be done. Okay? That's one thing. That's one thing. You probably haven't even, there's more layers, sis. There's more layers to the healing. So you have to keep going deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. But when you say cut ties and emotional baggage, I'm thinking that there's still a person that has some type of weight on you. There's a person that is still making you feel some type of way. So maybe you haven't truly extracted the lesson and the blessing from that person. What did they really serve to teach you about yourself? Maybe you still have been playing the blame game with that person. Maybe it's that person's fault, right? This is a belief system you have. That person did that. That's why I did this. And now we just done. It's been years, but it's their fault. No. No. Spirit don't work like that. Spirit wants you to take responsibility for the manifestations in your life. Okay? Spirit wants you to take responsibility and understand why you manifested this certain thing. That's what Spirit wants to happen. Okay? And so if you have not done that on a very deep level, this is why you continue to feel like it's not happening. Okay, we got people talking about they moving to Houston. Yes, y'all know we in Houston. Hopefully I see y'all in Houston in person at the Master Student Conference. Hopefully I see y'all in Houston at the Master Student Conference. If I don't see you in person, I definitely should be seeing you virtually. Okay? That's just something that you have to do. You got to be in the building. All right? Questions, questions, questions. I am looking for questions. Mystic Storm, you more afraid of you busting through, wreaking some havoc, letting the chaos come out. I get that. I get that. So now you have to ask yourself, what is a healthier way for me to manage my emotions? What is a healthier way for me to manage my emotions? How can I express this anger, this whatever? How can I express this in a way that does no harm to others? I mean, sometimes, like, hey, sometimes, sometimes you got to do that. That's what I'm going through right now. But I'm passing the class this time. Yes, Estella Mack. I'm glad to be answering questions that you were asking yourself last night. That's powerful. I'll be grateful for stuff like that. That's alignment. That's alignment. Okay. Triple Goddess, how can I gain proper clarity on how I shall be sharing the magic, knowledge, and knowing that I have? So, excuse me. Again, in the Sacred Sister Circle, I'm really creating a space that answers that question. But a little bit into it is every month we're going to talk about a specific topic in the Sacred Sister Circle, whether it's the ego, the subconscious mind, the shadow self, the inner child, the laws of Tahuti. Every month we're going to have a specific topic that we talk about and break down. And what is my hope? What will end up happening is, based off of this array of topics that we're going to talk about, all pertaining to healing, relationships, and purpose, based off of this array of topics that we talk about, you are going to find something that resonates with you so deeply. You're going to find something that it just seems like you already know the answers to. It just seems like you just get it. It just seems like it just flows from within you. There's no confusion. Some way, somehow, you just get it. And it is those things that align you with your purpose. It is those things that align you with your magic. See, I've been talking about healing for forever. Like, I remember being on basketball teams, and we'll be having drama and stuff going on the team and just a whole bunch of nonsense. And I will remember asking my teammates certain questions that really made them think, that really made them pause, that really made them question what they were doing. And that was so powerful. And so now that I'm doing what I'm doing now, it makes sense. So you have to get in spaces, you have to get in places where you get exposure and you can start remembering. Like in the Sacred Sister Circle, I already know I'm going to have so many sisters come on and just drop straight science. Like my girl Sierra, I know I'm having her coming on talking about dream work, dream recall, ancestral land. I know I'm having her come on and talk about those things. I know I'm having Iman come on and talk about being a doula, talking about birth work, talking about delivering babies. I know I'm going to have my girl Neoshi come on and talk about hypnosis, hypnotherapy, past life regression. I know that I'm going to have them do that. As they are doing that, though, you are going to have the opportunity to be triggered. See, there are certain conversations that are being had that are going to trigger you and that are going to remind you of your magic. Like I said, you're just going to get it. It's just going to be, it's just going to flow. It's just going to be with ease. But here's the next step about discovering your purpose. Once you discover your magic, your purpose, your gifts, you have to become a person that can properly operate them, that can properly function in it from the highest vibration. I knew this girl who was good at getting in other people's energies, and she can feel other people's energies, and she can read auras and things like that. But she was only doing it to like play with people's energy. She was only doing it to manipulate people's energy. She was only doing it to basically see into people's dark side, to see into people's shadow selves, but she wasn't doing it to uplift them, to free them from that stuff. So a lot of times your purpose, your gifts, your talents aren't online in the highest functioning way because you're not mentally and emotionally prepared to hold the responsibility of that gift, of that magic, of that purpose. Okay? So once you discover what flows from you, what you're passionate about, what is easy for you, once you discover that, the next thing that you have to do is become a person who understands how to use that gift for the utmost betterment of yourself and the people around you. Okay? Super important. Super, super duper important. Okay? So again, in order for you to really discover your purpose, first of all, I just did a video on Friday on this, and it's called Rediscovering Your Purpose. So, Triple Goddess 333, you need to go listen to that video for me. Do it for yourself. Rediscovering your purpose. Your purpose is directly connected to your magic. Okay? How you share it, how you give of your magic, of your knowledge, of your wisdom is going to be through your own creative venture. But you have to explore yourself. You have to learn to express yourself. Okay? You have to be willing to put yourself out there. It's not about how, it's just do it like Nike. Just do it in your own unique way. Don't be afraid to do it in your own unique way. So you need to explore yourself, express yourself, and engage with other people. You have to learn to engage with other people, ladies. Have to learn to engage with other people. Okay. Tangela. Oof. That's where I am at. The dark night of the soul. How long does it last? Girl, it lasts as long as you want to be there. I'm just going to tell you the straight up truth. For some people, it can last a week. For some people, it can last a year. The better question is, how quickly are you ready to release the shit that is keeping you there? The dark night of the soul is about repressed, suppressed emotions. It's about belief systems that you are fighting to let go of. Your spirit is begging you to release, and you don't feel like it's possible. You feel like you are whatever that belief is. So again, when you're in the dark night of the soul, we are talking about you transforming your trauma, transforming the subconscious mind, and training your vibration, Tangela. Are you really transmuting that trauma? Or do you continue to tell yourself the same old story? That's what I'm talking about. Spirit is like, you got these belief systems that you need to let go of. These beliefs that have been created based off of your childhood experience. Spirit is like, please let it go. It's no longer serving you. It's no longer in alignment. It's keeping you stuck. So you have to transmute that trauma. I'm going to tell you how to do that in the Sacred Sister Circle. I'm going to show you literal examples of this work. And I've been doing it for so long. I'm going to show you how to get on the other side of it. If you're in the dark night of the soul, you're on one side of that trauma. You're on one side of that belief. And Spirit is asking you to get to the other side. You also have to transform the subconscious mind. How can you start seeing symbols that are in alignment with what you desire to have? And how do you start training your mind to seek and search for more of the things that bring you joy? How can you start to find joy in the little things? And how can you stop rushing this process? How can you stop rushing this process? Well, here's the thing. When you're in the dark night of the soul, there's a part of you that is asking to die off. There's a part of you that is like, I need to be purged. I need to be released. I need to be transformed. I can no longer stay a part of you. When you rush that process, you're missing what it is that you need to be getting in order to let it go truly. There's so many things that go into that. The question is not how long does it last. The question is how quickly can you release the old you? How quickly can you understand that you are not meant to be the same person you was a while back? Whether that person was happy-go-lucky or whatever, there's a different joy. There's a different gratitude. There's another level of greatness that is right on the opposite side of what you're in right now. But you still want to be who you was then. Person who had that, person who felt that, person who was in this relationship. Okay? Also, if you are grieving the loss of someone, this is spirit, this is straight spirit now. If you are grieving the loss of someone, maybe someone passed away, maybe the loss of a relationship, it's a process. Do not rush yourself to grieve, to get over grieving. Okay? I don't know if that's for you, Tangela. I don't know if that's for somebody else that's in this chat. But do not try to rush your grievance. Allow yourself to feel. Because when you rush it, that's when you're suppressing emotions. And this is when we experience depression. Okay? So again, take your time in the process. Focus on releasing. You need to do a whole bunch of releasing rituals. In the Sacred Sister Circle, we got so many different release rituals, from meditations to journaling to release writing to spiritual baths. You have to learn different ways of release. And after you do the release ritual, after you do the release practice, after you do the release work, the next thing is, how in your daily life do you start cultivating the thoughts and the feelings of this new state of being? So you cannot be inconsistent with the new way of thinking and the new way of feeling. And it takes practice. And as you practice, you have to detach the judgment when you backtrack. Honey Tangela, I can keep talking to you all day about this, because there's so many different layers to it. So I want you to know that there's so many different layers to this, which is why you have to take your time and go through the process. But it can last as long as or as short as you make it. There is nothing outside of you that is keeping you stuck in this space. Look at your natal chart. Look at your natal chart and see what's happening astrologically for you right now. Based off of what you see, ask yourself, how can you use this for your power, for your development? How can I flow with it instead of fighting it? Girl, I can just keep going. It's too much. We're going to stop right there on the dark night of the soul, because it's a lot. Okay? If you have another question about releasing, whatever, ask that. Okay? Okay, so Love Sky says, Peace, Sherry. Love Sky says, people I know, or just random people, confess their dark secrets to me, their trauma or their darkness. What would be the purpose of this? Okay, so here's what I want y'all to understand. I can tell you my perception, I can tell you my understanding, but I want you to also become a person who can make sense of these things yourself. And this is why you have to develop a magical mind. Okay? But from what I hear and what I understand is that you may have a compassionate ear. I know I have a compassionate ear. And it manifests as a purpose in being a guide and being a healer, and letting people know that they don't have to hold on to their shit. They don't have to hold on to this darkness. They don't have to hold on to the secrecy. They don't have to remain a hostage to their past experiences. So that's a beautiful thing. So you can look at yourself as someone who allows people to be free, allows people to not be held bondage or held captive to their own darkness. And that is such a powerful thing. Now, should you just be listening to everybody's shit? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. You shouldn't just be listening to everybody's trauma and drama. That's unhealthy for you, especially if you don't know the purpose of it, especially if you don't know how to operate that energy that draws that into you. If you don't know how to operate it, you need to discipline yourself to stop listening to it, because this stuff can be programming your mind, programming your energy, programming your experience, and they could be just dumping shit on you. They can be just giving you their shit because they don't want to hold on to it. Then before you know it, you laying in the bed, you thinking about somebody else's trauma. You thinking about somebody else's secret. You thinking about somebody else's darkness. And you shouldn't be doing that, because if you're thinking about their stuff, you're not thinking about your stuff. So if you don't understand the purpose of it, I would advise you to take a step back. And when somebody wants to start telling you they airing out their dirty laundry with you, you need to ask yourself, how does this serve me? See, me as a spiritual healing coach, when I get to talk to somebody about their trauma, it serves me because it draws me closer to my spirit, to my higher self. And I get to feel that connection. I get to feel that channel. I get to feel that download, because what actually happens is spirit starts to download to me what to say to them to transform that and to become anew. I don't heal them. I just give them the download that spirit gives me on how they are to apply and how they're to use that experience for their growth and for their development. But just talking about trauma and drama is not healthy. Okay? Just talking about trauma and drama is not healthy. So I would encourage you to ask yourself, what do I want to do with this? In those moments, do I give them something that allows them to transform and use this information to connect deeper with them, with their higher selves, to heal? Or am I just fantasizing? Am I just being a person who they get to just express to because they couldn't tell nobody else? Because that's what you don't want to do. You don't want to be a person that's just receiving everybody's darkness, because you will think that it's not affecting you. But the words that you hear is energy, and energy is always, it's always at play, because energy cannot be created nor destroyed. So when you receive that energy, what are you doing with it? I use it to transmute. So when somebody tells me something traumatic, when somebody tells me something dark, I'm instantly in a space where now I'm asking them, well, how do you view that? How do you use that information? How's it made you powerful? What is it? I'm immediately going there. So I would challenge you to go deeper into that. I would challenge you to go deeper into that. Okay. Let me see. Let me see. Okay, doula, homemaker, homeschool teacher. I'm doing all the things I did as a child. I'm living my dream life. Yet, as high priestess, I know there's so much more to share. Yeah, so um, we have many roles. We have many manifestations that we have to live in. Triple goddess. Um, and and if you know, you know. And so again, I would say to you to embrace and trust your process, because you're not meant to do it all at the same time. Come on, spirit. Somebody needs to hear that. Somebody needs to hear that you are not meant to do all of these shits at the same time. Like it's too much. How you gonna do this all at the same time? There's a time and a place for everything. And so I would ask you to get clear on where you are right now. And I would ask you to start visualizing what it is that you want to do in the future. Okay? But you're not meant to do it all at the same time. I remember maybe 5 or 6 years ago, Dream had just started his business. I was pregnant. And I was just like, oh, why am I not starting my business? Why are things not happening for me? And I remember my midwife, shout out to Afua Ashe, sending you so much love and appreciation. Thank you. My midwife made the transition this year. But I remember her telling me, like, it's not your time right now. It's not your time to be in business. It's not your time to be making all of this content. It's not your time to be doing all of that, you know? And she just told me, It's your time right now to mother, to nourish, to nurture, to take care of yourself. It's your time to be pregnant. That's what time it is right now. It wasn't my time to be making videos, talking to people, coaching women. It wasn't the time. I knew that the wisdom and the insight was inside of me. I knew that that's what I wanted to do, but it wasn't the time. And you don't want things to, you want to be prepared mentally, spiritually, and emotionally for these things that you desire. And so sometimes, and this is going to touch on some of the stagnation that I'm seeing in the chat. And so sometimes when you're stagnant, it's not really, you need to, let's stop using the word stagnation because stagnation has a negative connotation. Instead of using the word stagnation, you need to look at it as a time of stillness where you're not supposed to be moving and shaking and engaging with a whole bunch of people, but you're supposed to be really in tune with yourself at this time. And you need to accept that. You need to accept that this is a time, and I don't know who this is for. You need to accept that this is a time for you to mother yourself, for you to mother your children, for you to mother the people around you. Maybe it's not about expressing so much. Maybe it's about just nurturing, giving, loving. Okay? But also at the same time, understand that everything happens in divine timing. And when the opportunities present themselves, you need to be mentally, spiritually, and emotionally and physically prepared to take on whatever it is that you're being asked to do. But if you're not being asked to do it right now, you may have it in your mind, but the circumstances are not aligning for you to do it right now because it's not meant to be done right now. It's not meant to be done right now. That goes for a lot of y'all. Okay? Again, like I said, Lena, and y'all gotta transform y'all's perception. What is y'all's expectations? You really need to be asking yourself, what are my expectations in relationships? What are my expectations in life? What am I expecting of myself? Some of y'all's expectations and perceptions is off, ladies. Some of your perceptions and expectations is off. And again, sometimes y'all think something is stagnant when it's really stillness. Come on. You have to change your perception. We're not talking about stagnation. We're talking about a time of stillness, a time where you probably need to go deeper into yourself. Why are you trying to move past something that you're probably not ready to move past? Don't judge yourself for that. See, when we use a word like stagnant, if anything is stagnant, it's dying. That's one thing. If you're not growing, you're dying. So we have to watch our word choice and shift perspective. That's what I'm talking about when I'm saying we got to transform the subconscious mind. Because the way that you're perceiving something is as if you're supposed to be moving, you're supposed to be doing something, but you're not doing it, you're stagnant. And it's not true. But if you believe that to be true, then that will be your reality. I'm stagnant in relationships. There's stagnant air. I feel like I'm not moving on. If that's what you believe, then that's what you are experiencing. But I'm here to challenge you on your beliefs and tell you to transform the subconscious mind. Instead of thinking stagnant, let's think stillness. This is a time for you to be still and really understand what it is that you are experiencing in that relationship. Just because you do the steams, the journaling, the meditation, all of that, you have to transform your thinking. What is the belief? What is the thought process? Why do you feel like this relationship manifested? Why do you feel like it ended? Who is to blame? How did it even manifest? How did the toxicity even manifest? What about you created this reality? What about you needed this experience for your transformation? These are questions we really got to ask ourselves. And when you think you have the answer, I can guarantee you, you can go deeper. So you got to keep asking why. So I need all of y'all. Let's stop thinking stagnant. Let's think stillness. Both of them can still equate to a lack of movement. But which one would you rather? Come on, Spirit. This is what I'm telling y'all. Which one would you rather? Stagnation or stillness? Stillness feels better to me. Stillness feels better to me. Okay? So that's why I love what Triple Goddess 333 says. She says, maybe the stagnant air is spirit clearing out the waters of what's left. Stillness. When you get still, you get clarity, and there's no longer confusion. There's no longer distraction. There's no longer misunderstanding because you've been still enough to have a real perception on reality. You've been still enough to connect with your spirit to know what is really happening. A lot of times we think we know, and it be some whole other shit going on. It be some whole other stuff going on. You think you really know what's happening, and it's something else. Spirit is funny like that, though. Spirit is funny like that. Okay? So let's get that together. Let's get that together. I'm going to open up and be a reflection of that kind of relationship with women I want. Exactly, Triple Goddess. You talking about how can I share my magic, my knowledge, my wisdom? How can I share? But you're not willing to be vulnerable. Or you're learning to be vulnerable. Let me say that. You're learning to be vulnerable. Okay? You don't have to share every single thing, but there is some that you have to share. There is some that you have to release. You have to free yourself from some things. Okay? Because how else are people going to connect with you? How else are people going to connect with you if they don't feel you? People have to be able to feel you. So that means you're going to have to let them in intimately. And if you're private, and nothing's wrong with being private, I don't tell y'all all of my business. But if you're too private, if you're too sheltered, if you're too covered, then you're not letting people see who you are. And I'm telling y'all, the expression of what's really going on within you is what allows you grace, mercy, evolution, growth, spiritual wealth, really. Okay? Yes, you gotta let go. Engaging with other people shows you yourself, things you need to work on, right, sis? Absolutely. You have to engage with other people. If you don't engage with other people, then you keeping everything inside. You keeping everything in your mind. You're not having opportunities to work the knowledge, the understanding, the wisdom that you're gaining. When you work with other people, this is you putting some things to work. So, Gemini love quartz. Hello, I'm 17, growing up in Chicago. I want to heal my relationships with others, but it's hard for me to set boundaries. I have healing energy for sure. How can I heal / love myself on a daily basis? Well, first of all, shout out to you for being 17 and ready to have these conversations already. That's major. That's major. So many 17-year-olds are not thinking about boundaries, emotions. It's not even happening. You like living your best life. So shout out to you for even being here and congratulate yourself for that and be proud of yourself for that. That's one. Two, healing and loving yourself on a daily basis simply means disciplining yourself to do the things that make you feel good on a daily basis. And so that may mean, okay, I'm thinking this way and these thoughts don't feel good. Let me transform that. I'm feeling this way emotionally. Those emotions don't feel good. Let me transform that. I am behaving in this way, but these behaviors, these actions that I'm taking are not in alignment with the life that I'm creating for myself. Let me change that. Healing and loving yourself, ladies, means transforming thoughts, feelings, and actions to align with your higher self. If your thoughts, feelings, and actions are keeping you in a space that doesn't feel good, that is not in alignment with the life that you are creating, love yourself by changing those things. Heal yourself by changing those things. Changing those thoughts, changing those feelings, changing those actions. It's simply said and difficult done. It is simply said and difficult done, okay? But I got a lot of videos, Gemini Love Quartz. I got a lot of videos on healing, on self-love, so much content pertaining to that stuff. But it really just boils down to transforming your thinking, transforming your feeling, transforming your actions. And then when it comes down to boundaries, you have to know your self-worth, your self-value. Other people cannot be what give you that, because when you don't have boundaries set, is because a part of you feels more valued, more worthy. A part of you feels loved when you go against yourself to make other people happy or to make other people comfortable. A part of you feels like making other people comfortable, even though it doesn't make you comfortable. A part of you feels like that's better, and it's not. And that's a learned program. So you have to really work on that ideology. Okay? You got to really work on that ideology. Love it, love it, love it. I'm glad everything is hitting home for y'all. I love y'all. I love y'all so much. I love y'all so much. So yeah, in the Sacred Sister Circle, a lot of what we are talking about right now is what we're going to be talking about more intimately, more specifically. Like, instead of us going everywhere, we're going to focus. Okay? Instead of us going everywhere, we're going to focus on specific topics month by month by month. And it's really going to help you to develop a spiritual mind and understand how to heal, how to develop healthy relationships with yourself and with other people, and how to really live a life that you just love, a life that you feel in tune, a life that you feel honored, a life that makes you feel like I'm the shit. Okay? I got that. And yeah, Tangela, you need to shoot. I keep on telling you, Tangela. I don't know how many times I got to keep telling you that you need to get on, that we need to get on a call. I don't know how many times I got to keep telling you that. That's something you need to let go of, Tangela. Because I've told you multiple times. Because I've read your comments multiple times. And I keep on saying, Tangela, why haven't we gotten on the call? Why haven't we gotten on the call? Why haven't we gotten on the call? And you ain't getting on the call. And really ask yourself why. Why are you blocking yourself from getting on a call with somebody who is wanting and willing to help you right now? And that's not even me trying to sell you. I got a complimentary call for 15 minutes, Tangela. And you are a Patreon member. So I have way more. I mean, I'm willing to get on the call with you. If it goes over 15 minutes, it is what it is. I'm telling you, I'm here to support you. But I can't keep telling you the same thing, Tangela. Okay? You said you are grieving. I know Spirit already told me that. So get on that call. Okay? Get on that call. All right. So I love y'all. Exactly. Tell a triple goddess. Get on that call. November 11th, that's when you're going to be able to enroll. Make sure you are signed up for the Sacred Sister Circle community. That does not mean that you are a member. That just means that you will receive email updates about what's going on in the Sacred Sister Circle. If you are signed up to the Sacred Sister Circle community, you're going to receive an email right when the membership goes live. And you'll be able to just click on it, sign up, join the membership, and we're going to get done. We started this membership when you sign up in November. Throughout the entire month of December, I'm doing one-on-one sessions with every woman that signs up. And the reason why I'm doing that is because I want what we work on throughout the year, 2022, all year, I want what we work on to be specific to what you need as a spiritual woman. And I know that's healing. I know that's relationship, love, and I know that is operating in your purpose. Okay? So we're going to deal with all of that. By the end of 2022, you're going to be a whole new woman. Hell, by the end of the first month, you're going to be a whole new woman. You're going to be like, okay, I think I kind of got it. I know what I'm doing. I know what I got to do. Okay? I know what I got to do. Anyways, I love y'all. I'll talk to y'all later. Shoot me a message if you have any questions about anything. If I did not get to your question, I'm still here for you. Just shoot me a message. I look forward to talking to y'all soon. Peace.